reception. And I should also say what's in here, I should say a thank you to the Mayor for organising the event today and being so very generous with other people's money. Now, I believe, like Dr. Pines, that we do not face a clash of civilizations. In fact, I think we can agree that no one on this stage does believe in the clash of civilizations. It's a straw motion. But I would stress that I, like Dr. Pipes, believe that we are facing and are involved in a clash of civilization and barbarism. And just in case there's any doubt about what I mean by barbarism, it is Islamic fundamentalism, jihadism, led by jihadist ideology. That is a barbarism that primarily threatens us and which we should be fighting. Now, Muslims in this can be on the side of civilization, and no one told you that I'm saying that there is a civilizational divide. There is not. There are Muslims who can be on our side, and many, many are, and there are Muslim countries who can be on our side. Unfortunately, far too many Muslims, largely because of people being elevated who should not be elevated, far too many Muslims are being, in this country and abroad, put onto the wrong side of this debate. We should be wooing the Democrats in the Muslim world onto this side. We should be helping the moderate Muslims. We should not, in other words, be elevating organizations like the Muslim Council of Britain, the Muslim Association of Britain, that is the leader to a civilizational clash. Now, I would stress, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Livingston has so far this morning explained how the Cold War was our fault. And I stress that there's another similar rewriting of history from Monsieur Koob here. There are all of the problems of the world, all the problems of the jihad, all the problems of violence come down to us. It's all to do with the Iraq War, it's all to do with Afghanistan. You've heard it a million times, this is not new stuff. But I would stress to you that if that argument were true, to take it seriously for a moment, and we should, if that argument were true, it doesn't explain quite a lot of things. In other words, as well as being, in a fundamental way, I believe, racist, i.e. the people who are doing the act are not responsible. They don't even have culpability. They can't even make choices. They can't even screw up unless it's our fault. Now, apart from that, it is also simply historically inept. If it is our fault, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps Mr. Koob and Mr. Livingston could answer this, if all of the problems of the jihad are our fault, why are currently, and have been for a long time, Muslims slaughtering Hindus in India? Why are they slaughtering, and have been for a long time, Buddhists in Indonesia and Thailand? Why are they murdering animists in South Sudan? Is that because of the Iraq War? Are we going to relate that one with the fascist junta of Bush and Blair as well? I don't think so. What I would suggest, for those like Mr. Livingston and Mr. Koob, who think this is our fault, we should look and think there isn't a problem of jihadism here at home and elsewhere, which we should be treating seriously. I suggest, for instance, Mr. Livingston might look at his opposite number in Paris, Bertrand Delano, who was stabbed by a Muslim fundamentalist in 2002, very nearly murdered. That Muslim fundamentalist stabbed the mayor of Paris because he's gay. And one of the neighbours and friends of that man said, well, we're all homophobic here because it's not natural, it's against Islam. Look at the case of Miss Goffrey Hadoui, a Muslim woman stoned to death in Marseille in 2004 for refusing the advances of a Muslim boy. This kind of Sharia killing, housekeeping as regarded in some sections of the Muslim community in France, is tolerated. I say it is intolerable. And the multicultural paradise, which we've heard talked about this morning, doesn't sound quite so nice when you have people believing it is acceptable to attack and kill gay men and women, or Muslim women who will not submit to their tribal backward norms. Now, the problem we have come to here, the reason why this is an issue, is multiculturalism. It's been mentioned several times already this morning. Multiculturalism, in the way it's practiced here, has been a disaster. It's been a profound disaster. The rule of law of the British state is not up for negotiation. The rule of law across the West and Western traditions is not up for negotiation. And if you think that multiculturalism is something which somehow is going to be a universal world civilization, I would ask you simple questions. How's multiculturalism going in Saudi Arabia right now? Why building a synagogue or even praying to the non-Muslim God in Saudi Arabia or across many countries in that region? It doesn't happen, i.e. there's no reciprocity. On the other hand, here, just a few months ago, Justice Minister of the Netherlands, Piet Hein Donner, announced that when a majority of people wanted it, he was willing to institute Sharia law across the Netherlands. Now, on current demographics, that majority isn't too far away. What will the Netherlands look like when that happens? What will this country look like if people in this country go along with that idea as well? The point is that there is an answer to this. We keep the moderates and encourage the moderates to be on our side and to believe in the rule of law and the strength of the state. But the state at the moment here and in the West is not looking strong. It is looking weak. It is looking weak because leaders and others, like the Mayor of London, claim and are seen to be claiming across the world that this is our fault, that it's our problem. I say they should be giving up another side, which is to say to people, this is a city with people of all different faiths, of all different nationalities, and that is fine, but there are norms which you agree to. We are not giving out that message. We should be saying clearly, the Mayor of London should be saying far more clearly and far more regularly, there are some things that are not open for negotiation. You will not have Sharia. There are countries you could have it, sadly, but this will not be one of them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I should stress that this could have been said by anyone at any time, but I should stress something about the people we're speaking with this morning. Because we have seen this before, with various form from Mr. Livingston, Yakub on this one. In the last 3 decades, 2 different groups of people have tried to murder and have murdered in large numbers the people of this city. They have nothing in common, Irish Republican extremists and Islamist extremists. They have almost nothing in common, aims or anything else. One of the few things they do have in common is both of them found an apologist in Ken Livingstone. And just in those days he invited, was there on the Army Council planning the murder of people in this city, just as then he invited Adams and McGuinness, whilst they were on the Army Council, to Britain, so today he invites people like Mr. Al-Qaradawi. And I would stress, ladies and gentlemen, and he will say in response to this that he somehow took part in the peace process. He did not. Nobody believes that the IRA came to the table for any reason other than the fact that they were defeated, operationally incapable. That is how the defeat was settled. It is not by inviting them to tea, it is not by rolling out red carpets. That is how. Now, he could have today invited, as his co-debater, a moderate. He could have invited somebody from the moderate secularist Muslim Association in France of Muslim women, neither whores nor submissives, a wonderful organisation. He could have done that. He could have invited Serkan Manji, or Ayn Hirsi, or Wafda Sultan, but instead, he invited Miss Yakub. Miss Yakub, a spokesman for Birmingham Central Mosque, and for the head of that mosque, Mohammed Nassim, who believes that 7/7 wasn't carried out by Muslims, and so on. We could mention the fact that her political career as such started when she acted as a defender of the Yemeni 7, the group of terrorists, including Abu Hamza's sons, who were out there, with her brother also involved in the campaign. And I would also point out on this one that she is a member of the Respect Party, a party so far beyond the pale of traditional political discourse, and neither does she or her party stand on the side of the moderates. Her party has called for success of the insurgency of Iraq, the murder of the people of Iraq we should be supporting. She and her party, her line on this, and her party's line on this, is that the insurgency should survive. That is elevating the extremists and threatening and elevating the murder of the moderates. And ladies and gentlemen, we should not be on that side, we should not be on that side of the and we should not be on that side of terror.